My dog is deathly afraid of storms. So yesterday or the day
Oh,
before, he came into the room, in the hearing room, and he laid down with such great force and disappointment. He sighed and he hit the floor. Everyone looked like, what just happened? It's like, oh, it's the dog.
aw.
Okay, looks like we're good to go. Checking our live stream. There we go. Perfect. All right, set. All right, let's get on the record. This is docket 5050 TE 105, the application of the City of Rice Lake for approval of revisions to its PGS1 and PGS2 parallel generation tariff. This is Michael Newmark, the Administrative Law Judge for the PSC. We're connected on Zoom with the parties and commission staff, and we have made the connection available to members of the public. What we're doing is creating the record today. I probably don't have to go through all the details. You guys, usually do this for the public. So this is both a party and public session, but at this point, just looking at our attendee list, we have no members of the public in attendance, so no comments to take from the public live. At this point, I can see what happens by the end of the hearing. If anyone does join to make a public comment, we can allow that. But there's an alternative to commenting here at the hearing. The members of the public can comment in writing. We just need to get those in by Monday, June 30th, and comments can be filed through the commission's website or by US mail. Details on how to do that are on the notice of hearing, which is on the screen share. So therefore, it's on our live stream and will be on our YouTube recording of the hearing on the PSC's Hearings YouTube channel. So many ways to get informed about commenting. Otherwise, I think we just need to proceed with the party session at this point. We'll switch gears here a bit for taking appearances. So let's have appearances now, starting with the applicant, Rice Lake.
So Richard Heineman, attorney for Rice Lake. And then we have here in my conference room both witnesses.
Tim Obie, Rice Lake Utilities.
Gary Price for Rice Lake Utilities.
Okay, great, thanks. And for the PSC?
Judge Michael Garcia, Assistant General Counsel, appearing on behalf of the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin.
Okay. Renew Wisconsin.
Your Honor, Sharif Alawish for Renew Wisconsin, and also with us is Andrew Kell.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. Did you say, were you speaking of Mr. Kell? It's really hard to hear you.
You're very low, so if there's a way to
I'll try to fix that, but also with
go off the record and fix that now.
Okay.
Is this any better?
Say a little bit more. It was hard. Didn't catch.
Is this better?
Not much. It kind of sounds muffled, but also low as well. Maybe. Is there anything covering the area where the mic might be?
I'm just trying to change around the microphone. Is that better? Okay,
Not really.
I'll work on it.
Okay. So yeah, I guess as a sort of accommodation, we can try to just have to really speak up to get our attention if you have a question or objection. I may not hear it if you're still that low in volume, so you just want to really speak up for that. Okay.
I'll try my best.
Oh, now it's working. Okay. I don't know. Like I said, the best laid plans. Just say a couple more. Just say something else. Let's see if that's still going to work.
Good morning, everyone. It's
Okay.
not sunny outside, unfortunately.
That's bizarre. Okay, well, as long as it works while we're here, that's all we need. Okay, so right, that's good. So we got our appearances. Let's
Your Honor, I think we're off the record, and I don't know
Yes.
if Sharif got on the record to say that. Just throw it out there.
Okay. Yeah, Debbie, did we get Sharif's appearance on the record?
Yes.
We did. Okay. All
I
right.
was watching his mouth and I kind of knew what he was going to say, but still couldn't really hear. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Okay. All right, so we'll stay off the record for a bit and just switch gears for offered evidence list. So I had, well, actually, let's just do a little, let's at least introduce this on the record. So on the record, we're just, we'll now review the offered evidence list, part of the emails I sent to the parties and commission staff with some hearing documents, offered evidence list with the displaying the documents that we're expecting to receive in this proceeding, along with some formatting comments. So we can go off the record and just discuss those now. So we can go off the record for this, but any errors or omissions on the list? Did I miss something or mistake PSC number on these?
Yes, Your Honor. For renew,
Mhm.
we're missing direct. I think we only have the rebuttal on there.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, let's see. Let me get the link quick so I don't forget it. Huh. All right. Yeah, I don't think there are any. No, I probably have it here. Let me check my notes. I don't think there's anything to correct on there. Oh, there are a note there. Okay, let me put that in there and then we'll display the comment because you didn't get it before. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. Okay. So I didn't have any comments for rebuttal, but for direct, there was okay, so there was a so I don't know, the first comment was deleting a footnote. We'll review that. But because I can't remember exactly, but the other ones are just adding the NRE disclaimer at various footnotes. And then AEP, I think at one point, I think the utility had spelled that out, but you just want to do that on in your testimony as well. So we have a reference to what that stands for. Let's look at what did I say it was?
That would have been Rice Lake probably.
Page 7. Duplicates exhibit. So delete footnote, duplicates exhibit. Footnote 6. Doesn't make sense. Looks like you got me on this one. Let's see. I guess, so I guess what happened is there is the executive summary. on in a offered exhibit? Is that because that's what's footnote 2 is executive summary of the report. Oh, the vibrant clean. So I think that's already, is that offered? I thought it was. You know, usually I put the exhibit number in. Do you remember that, Attorney Hollowish? This executive summary, was that?
Let me double check.
Huh.
Your Honor, it looks like that was Exhibit 3. Exhibit Renew Cal 3.
Okay. Or maybe it's actually cited in. Okay, so we just. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that's the. Yep, you're right. So we just changed the citation from the link to the to Cal 3. That's the
Your
and
Honor,
actually
if I
okay.
may.
So it is there. So you just need to delete the footnote. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I was trying to say. Just got to backfill it. Okay, so you already cited it. It's just you don't need the link because it's in already in the record in the exhibit.
Your Honor, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I believe the footnote is basically just outlining where the report can be downloaded. And that link then would be non-record evidence. However, yes, the exhibit 3 would be record evidence.
Yeah. But it just duplicates because if it's the same document that you're offering, it's just duplicative. If we already offered it, I would just, you file it as the exhibit, just let the commission see the exhibit and let direct parties to the exhibit rather than the exhibit and the link. So I don't know if you've done that before, but I didn't. I guess I just never noticed that before. But I would say if you're going to offer it and you have it as an exhibit, you don't need to simultaneously, include a link and a footnote. It's it's a little confusing, I guess, because I'm not really sure why you'd have the link there too. Okay. Anything else I've missed or mistook in the offered evidence list?
Your Honor, it's Richard Heineman. I wanted to point out a couple of things related to Gary Price's exhibits, and then just have a discussion.
So we're off the record. This isn't just correction kind of discussion?
Well, kind of. So not really a correction per se, but
Okay.
two things. Number one, and I was thinking of having Mr. Price deal with this when he appears on the record.
Sure.
But there are cross references in his exhibits 1 and 2 to well, there's actually a cross reference in his exhibit 2 to lines in exhibit 1, but it's not clear from the exhibit that the cross references to exhibit 1. And I was going to have Mr. Price just add language basically saying to those two footnotes what the cross references are to, so that it would be very clear that to the commission or whoever is reviewing what the cross references are to. Does that make sense? Do you see what I'm saying?
I think it would be fine just to do that on the record.
Yeah, I was planning to do that. I'm just giving you a heads up that I was going to do it on the and I would then resubmit the exhibit revised. But then relatedly, there are references in Mr. Price's exhibits to RLU's monthly invoices from AEP, and also the Hutchinson capacity invoice. I'm talking about the footnotes to the pages of his exhibit where he's basically talking about where the information that he's using in the exhibit comes from. And those invoices are not in the record. And I was going to propose, from Bryce Lake's standpoint, in the interest of having a complete record, that we would move to supplement the record with an exhibit that would contain those invoices, so that anybody who wants to do the math can do the math. And my understanding or my thought was that I would do that as a motion to supplement the record with those invoices as a self-standing exhibit. Most of that information would be confidential, so it would be submitted. We'd have to submit a public and a non-public version, and I just think that's in the interest of transparency, and the other parties, staff and Renew will know what I'm talking about. They've had an opportunity to review Mr. Price's exhibits and his analysis. I don't think they'll be prejudiced. They haven't requested to see those invoices to date, but they would be available. And I guess I'd be curious if that's amenable to the other parties, and if that's the appropriate way to proceed.
Okay. All right. So any other items you need to talk about before we? Nothing else? Okay. And let me just make sure we're just all set with the offered evidence list. No one has any other additions or issues with the list. Questions about comments? Okay. So let me just review in terms of price. So price 2 would be refiled with the references to price 1. Is that?
Yes.
Correctly? All right, I'm just going to make a note of that.
And we'll do that on the record. It won't take long.
Right. And it'll be, but you do plan to refile a corrected.
Absolutely.
Price 2. Okay. I just wanted to note that for myself. And then, well, I guess we can hear your proposal. So, I mean, I think in terms of the procedure, we would, I would have Rice Lake make requests to file the invoices today on the record, and we can hear sort of a preliminary response from parties and staff about whether that's appropriate. And then if I decide it is appropriate, we'll have the utility file the exhibit with it'd have to be certified with a notarized affidavit. And then that would trigger essentially a request for an ALJ order process. So you don't necessarily have to file the request because we'll do that now, but we can at least streamline that a bit, but we will provide the opportunity for rebuttal or countervailing evidence and then a reply, which is built into the request for ALJ order. That's section C of the FMO. So that would be how we would handle that, but I'm not sure at this point whether it's, appropriate to have in the record at this point, because there is an opportunity to file documentation yesterday by email to provide parties a heads up about documents you're bringing to the hearing. And I'm assuming since it's confidential, you're probably not going to want to email those to us now.
Your Honor, the intent was not to use those invoices at the hearing. That's why I didn't. It's really intended to just make sure that there's a complete record.
Okay. Well, I guess you're intending to use them by offering them, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. But let's hear so let's get on the record, and I'll just ask you to make your request again on the record, and we can get a response from Renew and Commission staff as to whether we should entertain that process. So let's get on the record, and I think Rice Lake has a request to make. We'll document now.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, Rice Lake would like to request the ability to provide as supplemental evidence an exhibit that would contain the AEP invoices that are referenced in witness Price's Exhibit 2 and also Exhibit 1 in the footnotes, where Mr. Price is indicating where the information contained in his exhibit comes from. He makes reference to monthly invoices from AEP Energy Partners plus Hutchinson capacity invoice. Those invoices are obviously an important part of his analysis, but they're not part of the record. So the proposal would be to supplement the record with an exhibit that would contain those invoices.
Okay, so let's mark that exhibit RL Price 4 and hear for any from the Renew and Commission staff, any response to that request?
Just a question for clarity. Is that the same invoices that Renew received in Discovery?
That is a good question, and the answer is no. And the reason for that is that the invoices that Renew received in Discovery were the invoices that we had available to us at the time that the application was submitted. So those were basically invoices from the 22-23 time period. And then as the parties know, in Mr. Price's exhibits that were attached to his pre-filed written testimony, he updated the information, the analysis that's really the basis of the methodology that we're proposing for capacity and transmission. And there's been a lot of discussion about that in the record in the pre-filed written testimony. But those specific invoices, which date from March 24 through February 25, all named and referenced in his existing exhibit, the actual invoices, right, where the information is contained, was not requested as part of any discovery process. And so what we're doing now is just kind of voluntarily, in the interest of transparency and a complete record, providing those invoices.
I guess I'd want to look at it a little bit more, but I don't see an issue for us.
Commission staff, any comment?
Your Honor, Commission staff doesn't have any issue with supplementing the record with that information.
Okay. So I guess, I mean, it is coming late. This is information that was used to create the exhibits, which were filed, correct me if I'm wrong, on direct from Price?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. And again, we certainly would have been able to provide the information had it been requested, but the parties didn't request it. So the information that we're using is in the exhibit. So in that sense, the analysis is not late. It's just the sort of work papers, the underlying information that Mr. Price is relying on. So what I'm saying is that yes, it's late in the sense that we're at the hearing, and it was just something that that we, as we were preparing for the hearing, just recognized might be helpful, frankly, for the record, just to have them in there. But they have not been requested and would not have been denied had they been requested.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess, I mean, just as a tip, I think this would have went smoother if Rice Lake could have informed parties in advance when they decided to take this action and avoided the procedural process here, getting agreement to stipulate to filing those invoices. Had they shared them before the hearing, that could have been possible. But also, I think it is the applicant's, well, it's any party's job to provide the evidence it believes is necessary to support its position in the rounds of testimony that we've established. But there's no, at least there's no, theoretical or philosophical objection to the timing of this. So like I mentioned off the record, Rice Lake should feel free to file the exhibit as price 4. It should verify that exhibit with an affidavit, notarized affidavit from the witness. And at that point, that filing will trigger a request for an ALJ order process under the FMO Section C. So there'll be an opportunity for parties and staff or renewing staff to respond to what they're seeing that actually gets offered. And that should ensure due process is provided and that the record will be complete and accurate. So yeah, I'm going to thank the utility for catching that sooner than later and offering it. I think that's going to be helpful. But in terms of the practice, the sooner is better. And if that was your intention before today, probably could have avoided some of this procedural hurdles just to have gotten agreement before the hearing. But I don't think it'll be an issue, or it shouldn't be too complicated of a problem. So we can move on from there.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I acknowledge it would have been better to come in a little bit sooner. So,
okay. So let me ask, is there anything else we need to handle before we take our first witness? Nothing from parties. We can excuse the witnesses that have no cross, and it sounds like we at least have one witness from the applicant that needs to take the stand. But in terms of the other witnesses, if there's no cross for those witnesses and they don't want to, they have the option to verify in person if they want. They have the option to offer the additional testimony. But if that's not the issue here, if that's not the case, I can excuse them and have their filings verified by affidavit. So I'll just let that opportunity out there if there's anyone who wants to take it. But it doesn't look like it. Okay. All right. So let's get right to it then. We'll take the applicant's first witness. So who do we have?
Tim Obie for City of Rice Lake.
All right. And if you could zoom in a little bit on Tim.
Sure.
So we see mostly the table and like just the top of your head, Tim. So if there's a way to
We'll try to fix that. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're
off
trying,
the record.
we're trying to be proactive about this, but like
There we
you said-
go. No, you're looking, it's better. So yeah, maybe just that should work.
Okay.
Yeah, just while we're off the record. So the point of one of the purposes of having the video, people's faces on the video is to provide for people with who have hearing issues, they can see the faces. It does help to understand the testimony. So to be closer in is actually better, but we'll take what we get at this point, so it's okay.
You can a bit more.
How does that look?
Yeah, that should do it. You guys can't move though, because you're both at the edge of the screen, so sometimes that can be an issue.
Okay.
All right, so let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Looking on the record. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead, Attorney Heineman.
Please state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Tim Obie. My last name is spelled Aaby.
Did you prepare and cause to be filed direct and rebuttal testimony in this case?
Yes.
And did you also file accompanying exhibits?
Yes.
Do you have any corrections or clarifications to your testimony or exhibits?
Yes. On page 2 of my direct testimony, I make reference to a long-term full requirements contract with American Electric Power Partners. I would like to clarify for the record that the term of that contract ends in 2032 for an energy contract and in 2030 for our capacity contract.
And with that clarification, if I were to ask you the same questions in your direct and rebuttal testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
Okay, let's go off the record for a sec. So with that correction, does that change is that like a relevant point to the case, or is that just information for to complete.
Information to complete the record. There's multiple references to AEP as the wholesale full requirements provider.
Mhm.
And there's some implicit evidence in the record about how long that contract lasts, but it just seems like, for clarity's sake, it makes sense to have him just state that.
Okay, and just give me the citation for that again.
Oh, where it goes in
Yeah.
his record?
Yeah.
Yes, page. I'm sorry, it's at page 2 of his direct testimony. And what we were specifically referring to, Your Honor, was on line. Yes, it's page 2, line 11. The bulk of our wholesale power supply is obtained from American Electric Power Partners, AEP, under a long-term full requirements contract.
Okay, so let me just ask the Renew and staff, is that information you've had before, or is that something new that may be relevant?
Your Honor, I will say that that the actual contract itself was provided in discovery. So the contract itself, has been available to staff and to Renew.
Okay. So the terms of the contract are on. Is the contract?
The contract is not. No, we were not prepared to offer that to the record.
But you're saying there is some sort of implicit controversy as to how long the term is?
Oh, not controversy.
No.
It's just a question that it hasn't come up. I mean, we can let Renew and staff talk for themselves, but
Yeah.
it hasn't raised as a question or an issue. It's just, again, for the sake of completeness.
I think for us, it's relevant if there's a different type of relationship in the wholesale power supply after 2030 and 2032. But if it's a renewal of contract or a similar entity, then we don't have an issue.
Okay, I guess I can't say I understand. So,
And Your Honor, from staff's perspective, I'm not sure offhand how relevant that is. As Renew said, maybe that has some relevance if the terms are going to be different after that. But even that, I'm not sure how relevant that is to this docket and the questions in this docket.
Yeah, and it has not been a question in any of the pre-filed written testimony, what happens to the power supply arrangement in the long-term future. There is also specific information in the record about the length of the contract associated with the capacity purchases from the city of Hutchinson. That is stated in the record. So, and it's not an issue in this docket what Rice Lake will be doing from a wholesale power supply standpoint in 2032.
okay, well, all right, so let's get on the record. So, just not sure exactly where we left off on the record, but Rice Lake had proposed some changes to its direct of the Abbey testimony. I'm not going to allow those changes. Errata is due before the hearing, and similar to our situation with the invoices that we just discussed, had this come in sooner, parties and staff would be able to have vetted this for relevance and have been able to, see if they had any reason to rebut or countervail the information. I mean, we could just have the contracts filed as an exhibit, but I don't know if it's really necessary in this case. No one has asked for that before. No one was contesting the current statement that the witness made in the offered evidence, so we'll just let it stay as is. And yeah, so for future reference, again, this is a process that's built into the contested case hearing procedures, which is to seek to change make changes in offered evidence prior to the hearing. The deadline is set for that in the scheduling order, but really a change can be requested at any time up until that deadline. Otherwise, you're going to run the risk of basically what's happening now is I'm not going to allow the change. So, and that's how we'll handle it this time. So let's get on the record and anything.
You were on the record.
Yes, we were on the
Oh,
record.
okay.
Let's get on the record.
Back on the record.
Okay, so
So,
so what do we have next? Go ahead.
okay, we do have, I'm assuming this is okay because this is in your rules.
We'll see.
We'll see. Mr. Obi does have comments to the sir rebuttal testimony that was filed by witness Yurvich. Just a couple of comments in response to that sir rebuttal, which came in on Friday, June 20th.
Okay, yeah, that we can do.
Okay, all right. Mr. Obi, have you had a chance to review PSCW staff witnesses Yurvich's sir rebuttal testimony, which was filed on Friday, June 20th?
Yes.
Do you have any comments you'd like to make in response to that testimony?
Yes, I'd like to make a brief comment on a discussion of the updated legacy period proposal I made in my rebuttal testimony. Ms. Yurvich states that staff does not have any concerns with the logic of the proposal, but does point out that the approach might be confusing or difficult to understand. She also points out that in a recent case, the commission set a 10-year legacy period to begin at the date that the final decision is issued. In order to eliminate any potential confusion, I would like to state for the record that RLU would be comfortable agreeing to set the 10-year legacy period on the date the decision in this case is issued by the commission.
Do you have any further comments to make to Ms. Yurvich?
No.
Okay, Mr. Obi is available for cross.
Okay. So I just wanted to mention that for the statement that the correction regarding the contract, we'll see that on the transcript with the line through, because it'll be stricken, but it'll still appear in the words will still appear. They'll be stricken with a line through, and the reason for that is when our past practice was to actually black out the words, but then people got confused as to whether that was confidential or not. So that's the way we designate an item confidential, by blacking out the public version. So so the commissioners are instructed to ignore what's been lined out. Just so you know. All right, so let's move on to cross. Any cross for this witness? And I can, since it's a small case, I'm going to actually ask you guys. So we'll start with Redo. Any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
And commission staff?
Staff has no questions, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. All right, great. So at this point, you're excused. Thanks very much.
Swamp seat.
Yes, we're going to swap seats if that's okay.
Yes, there we go. Okay, witness Price is there. I'll swear you in. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Go ahead, Attorney Heineman.
Okay. Mr. Price, please state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Gary Price. That's Price.
Did you prepare and cause to be filed direct and rebuttal testimony in this case?
Yes.
And did you also file accompanying exhibits?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any corrections to your testimony or exhibits?
Yes, I would like to add some cross references to my exhibit 2, which is Price 2. Specifically at page 2 of that exhibit, there are 5 notes. Notes 2 and 4 refer to specific pages from exhibit 1. And I'd like to add to those cross-references so it's clear that the references are from, or where they're from. So note 2 would read from RL price 1, page 8, line 7. And note 4 would read the XRL price 1, page 6, column E, lines 1 through 12. And on page 3 of that same exhibit, there are six footnotes. Notes 2 and 5 refer to the same pages from my exhibit 1. So I would like to add in those cross-references so that note 2 would read exhibit RL price 1, page 8, line 7. And that note 5 would read the XRL price 1, page 6, column E, lines 1 through 12.
It's off the record for a second. Is it, I'm seeing footnote 2 says, and I think I'm on page 3, it says page 8, line 1. I think the witness said line 7, if I heard correctly.
Oh,
So I think he's saying he was reading from, or he read the site,
well, yeah. So page 2 of 3 of
we're off the
exhibit,
record. So if he just wants to correct that on the record, that would be good.
so it'll be from page 8, line 7, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
line 7.
Unless it needs to be updated completely. I don't know.
No,
Check
I-
your-
I think maybe the stenographer could read it back. I don't know what I think it said from exhibit price 1, page 8, line 7.
Right.
Yes.
And is he changing?
No, he's not changing it at all.
Okay, so we're confused. So page 2
Yeah,
has footnote 2.
yeah,
The current version is from page 8, line 7.
right.
Yes.
And that's what he said. But then when he read the correction for page 3, I believe he said line 7 again, not line 1.
No. Note 5 would read, not,
So didn't note 2 on page 3 change?
Notes 2 from, yes, it did.
Okay, so what did he, so if you want to read that back, Debbie, do you see what he said there for page 3?
Yeah, I think you're right. I see your point.
on a page 3 of,
Yeah, page 3, yeah.
You
Page
want
3 of exhibit 2.
there are 6 footnotes. Notes 2 and 5 refer to the same page from my exhibit 1. So
Right.
I would like to add those cross-references so that note 2 would read exhibit RL price 1, page 8, line 7.
Okay, so
And
it's
that
getting,
note-
so it's not just the citing to the other exhibit, it's also changing the
That-
citation from 1 to 7.
that is
Okay.
correction, right? Is that a mistake?
I'm gonna find it.
All right, give us a second here.
Yeah.
So this is a bona fide correction then. I think it is.
It's correct.
It should be from page 8, line.
7. It's the AP capacity.
It's the capacity amount, right? So that that should be that's line 1, though, isn't it? Of the original
Note
exhibit.
two.
Of the original exhibit.
I'm looking at the original exhibit, price 2, page 2 of 3, right?
Right. But the
And
reference.
the footnote is in column
Right.
E.
That's correct.
11.6, and the 11.6 is on page 7 of page 8.
So it goes, but the cross-reference goes to your exhibit 1, page 8.
So the page number is correct,
Right. The question is the line number.
and the line number is correct.
Can I just
Yeah.
say something? I'm just looking up here and I don't know if maybe I didn't read the right thing because I didn't realize there were so much. I just went to the last thing you said about note 2.
Mhm.
There was an area where you said, so note 2 would read from XRL price 1, page 8, and note 4 would read ERL price 1, page 6, column 8, lines
Mhm.
1 through 12.
Column
But then
E.
further down, it was on page 3, and then like I read before.
So page 3 is what we're interested in. What he said for page 3, footnote 2.
Okay, on page 3 of that same exhibit, there are 6 footnotes. Notes 2 and 5 refer to the same pages for my exhibit 1. So
Mhm.
I would like to add in those cross references so that note 2 would read exhibit RL price 1, page 8, line 7. And that note 5 would read XRL price 1, pages 6, column 8, lines 1 through 12.
Right.
Right. So the issue is current page 3,
Right.
footnote 2 cites line 1 instead of line 7. So
Correct.
is he making that change as well as just adding the citation to the exhibit 1?
We want to change the citation to exhibit 1.
Right.
That's all we
But
want
if
to
you look at page 8 of 10 of
Okay.
your one.
I think what we're going to do is move on, and by the end of the hearing, please have this figured out.
Yes, we will figure it
Yeah.
out. We'll submit it on the in the corrected exhibit.
Well, but I need to know what the correction is first.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's get back on the record. So we heard some corrections to price 2. Any others?
No.
That's
Okay.
it.
And what else do you have for this witness?
With those clarifications, Mr. Price, if I were to ask you the very same questions today, both in your direct and rebuttal testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would. Thank you.
Okay, and I just want to clarify, I don't think we asked the other witness, but there, at this point, you have three exhibits you're offering. Is that correct, witness Price?
That's correct.
Right. Although
And we've decided that we're going to be, the Rice Lake will be offering the invoice exhibits as price 4. You understand that?
that is correct.
And the witness understands what we're expecting for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's available for cross.
All right, questions for witness Price. Start with Renew.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, and commission staff.
Staff has no questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so is that all of the applicant's witnesses? So we'll take Renew and, excuse me. So while we're working on those witnesses, if the utility can also identify the correction to price 2, page 3, we'd appreciate that. We have that available by the end of the hearing.
Yes.
All right, so Renew, let's call witness Cal and unmute yourself and I'll swear you in. There we go. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and none but the truth?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Please state your name for the record.
Andrew Kell,
And what organization are you employed by?
Renew, Wisconsin.
And what is your role at Renew Wisconsin?
I am the policy director.
Did you file or cause to be filed direct rebuttal testimony and 9 exhibits?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any corrections to make?
No, I do not.
And is the information in your testimony and exhibits complete, correct, and truthful to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, Mr. Kell is ready.
All right, any cross? We'll start with the applicant. Okay. No questions for witness Kell from Rice Lake?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, and commission staff, any questions?
Staff has no questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, witness Kell, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And we'll move on to commission staff. I'll let you call your witness. Sorry, I usurped Attorney Hollowish just out of basically frustration with the process, but go ahead.
This is my first time, Judge. You can't switch things up on me.
I'm not gonna, no, I won't, I promise, I promise. And
Commissioner-
welcome, by the way, welcome to contested cases, your future awaits you.
The commission calls Samantha Jervich to the stand.
All right, I see you there, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Attorney Garcia.
All right. Could you please state your name for the record?
Samantha Jervich.
Did you prepare and file direct and surrebuttal testimony in this docket?
Yes.
Are the statements and representations in the testimony you filed in this case true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And do you have any additions or modifications to your testimony at this time?
No.
Your Honor, the witness is available for a cross.
Okay, questions, start with the applicant.
Yes, Your Honor, we have just a couple of questions for witness Jervich.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourself to the witness, please.
Richard Heineman on behalf of the applicant. And really, we just wanted to focus on the last portion of your direct testimony, where you provide additional information to the commission with respect basically to the use of U-factor as a parallel generation avoided cost methodology. So, Ms. Jervich, on page 17 of your testimony, you state that the commission might consider whether the buyback rate should be based on the U-factor, which generally represents the annual average cost per kWh that RLU pays to its wholesale provider, AEP. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that amount is approximately 7.24 cents per kWh, which was authorized in RLU's 2017 rate case, correct?
Yes.
And are you familiar with Mr. Price's testimony, both in his direct and his rebuttal, where he discusses why he thinks that U-factor overstates the buyback rate?
I am.
Okay, thank you. And it's not my intent to go into a lot of detail about this, but just broadly speaking, would you agree that Mr. Price's basic point is that the U-factor methodology uses an annual average cost and presumes, therefore, that RLU is avoiding transmission and non-coincident peak demands that it is not actually able to avoid?
Yes, I would. And I believe in my testimony, I also note that the U-factor may be overstating the full avoided cost, but I believe I've also noted that the applicant's position, I don't think fully captures avoided costs either. So I was providing another avenue for the commission to consider.
Okay, thank you. But basically, with those caveats, you agree that a U-factor based methodology is likely to overstate the buyback rate in a parallel generation tariff.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Your direct testimony also includes additional information on other municipal utility parallel generation tariffs that utilize U-factor. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I believe you state that there are at least 2 municipal utilities that set avoided cost at the U-factor with the PCAC adjustments, correct?
Yes.
Do you happen to know when those parallel generation tariffs were approved by the commission?
I couldn't say the date that they were approved off the top of my head. I would have to look into it, but I could provide you with the names of the utilities.
No, that's okay. It's just what I'm really more interested in is whether it's fair to assume that whenever they were approved before the commission began its parallel generation investigation in Docket 5 EI 157 and before RLU filed its application in this proceeding.
I'm not sure. I would have to go back and verify.
Okay. Depending on the outcome of this proceeding, if Rice Lake is successful in having its methodology approved, it's at least possible that those other municipal utilities might decide to revise their U-factor based tariffs, correct?
Judge, that's a pretty speculative question that the witness doesn't really have any knowledge of.
Yeah, I agree. Sustain the objection.
Ms. Yurvich, you're familiar with the Sturgeon Bay case that was we were just discussing, docket 5780 TE 111 that was just decided in open meeting last week. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are you aware that Renew proposed using the base cost of power to set the PGS2 behind the meter avoided energy rate in that case?
Yes, I am aware that they proposed that.
And did the commission authorize use of the U factor in that case?
I believe during the commission's discussion, they did not, but the commission speaks through its orders, which has not come out yet. So I guess tentatively.
TBD is what you're saying. That based on the open meeting discussion, no action was taken on that issue, but we'll have to know in the written decision ultimately.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, great. Questions from Renew?
There's no change except for
The exhibit.
And you're muted, Sharif. Just check.
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Any redirect?
So the original is correct. There you go.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, great. All right. Bill, thanks very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So that's all of our witnesses we have on our list. So at this point, I think we're ready to close up. I just wanted to mention in terms of the participant list on Zoom, there are no members of the public connected, so no public comments to take live, but we will still accept
I have to
written comments. Today's Thursday, so I think it was Monday on the notice we saw before. Should have been, but I can't find the notice in front of me right now.
Your Honor, would you allow us to be muted and just verify that one line reference that we were talking about earlier?
So
So we can.
okay, I don't know if I can actually do that. That's probably you're really bringing up a lot of questions. It's a lot more work considering I was expecting. I don't know if I can actually allow you to be muted. I don't think that's ever come up before.
Okay.
Let me just mention though, so I finished the thought here for the record. So the public comments are due Monday, June 30th. So if anyone's listening to the live stream and wants to make a comment, or any member of the public, or will see the recording, feel inspired to comment, you have until Monday to do so. What we'll need to do is go into recess if you want to talk. And I guess let's just go ahead and we'll be off the record, but I guess
we're ready. I think
expediency. Let's just keep you on the mic, and
that's fine. We're prepared. We've clarified. I think
you have. Okay, you're all good. All right, so let's continue then. We did want to clarify witness Price's references in Exhibit 2. So go ahead, Attorney Heineman.
So,
Okay.
so yeah, so the note 2 from page 2 of the exhibit would read from Exhibit RL dash price dash 1, comma, page 8, line 1.
Well, no.
I think that was yeah.
Should be 7 for page 2. And
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, sir.
All right, so note 2 would read from Exhibit RL Prize 1, page 8, line 7, as originally stated.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which page of the exhibit are we talking about?
Page 2.
That's right. It's page 2 of Exhibit Price number 2, the one with 5 notes.
Okay, and for page 3, footnote 2.
For page 3, footnote 2, that one should be line
Line 1.
1. So that was the mistake.
Okay, it is line 1. All right, so we're all on agreement.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
My apologies for all that, Your Honor.
Not a problem. We're all learning. So let me just review here, recap. I don't think there's anything outstanding in terms of the hearing that we need to address. Let me know, anyone, if you can think of anything. Otherwise, we do have the post-hearing process already established. In terms of transcript and briefs, we'll also expect the exhibit price 4, which sets up a different sort of a sideline post-hearing process as well. So look forward to getting all those documents in. I don't know if we established a date for the price exhibit 4. If we can, let's do that within 3 working days. So you can make that the same deadline as revised testimony and corrected exhibits, if you think you can make that deadline.
We will definitely make that, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Okay, anything else we need to address before we adjourn? No, not hearing anything. So thanks very much, everyone. We're adjourned. Take care. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.